Well, here we are down at Donington Park for the 2023 Convoy on the Park. Have we got some racing action for you upcoming? If the weather holds out, we have got some serious action planned, and I hope that you all enjoy what you're about to see. Welcome to Donington Park. It's the British Truck Racing Championship.
I'll quickly run you through the grid for our first truck race of the day. So it's Ryan Smith on pole alongside David Jenkins, separated by just a few hundredths of a second in qualifying. Stuart Oliver and Bradley Smith on the second row. Simon Reed, Michael Oliver on row 3. John Bowler and Tom O'Rourke on the fourth row of the grid, completing the top 10, Ricky Collett and Simon Faulkner. Row 6 will be Stephen Powell and Craig Reed. Watch for them coming through. Craig Reed with that penalty for exceeding the 100-mile-an-hour speed limit in practice. Stephen Powell with one or two gremlins which hopefully have been ironed out by his team. Then a gap back to Division 2. Paul Rivett, the quickest qualifier there, alongside John Powell in the DAF. Craig Evans and Adam Bint on the second row. Jim Bennett and Simon Cole completing Division 2, while Neil Yates is a Division 1 truck, but he's asked to start from the back of the grid. His first time in that MAN this weekend. Ryan Smith not hanging about. He's already poised to launch off into the lead. Here we go then. Once the red lights go out on the gantry, we will be underway. Get ready to feel the noise. As here we go, race gets underway. And down towards Redgate they go for the first time. Coming up the outside, Michael Oliver's already clipped the back of Bradley Smith. He's on the grass there on the outside. Ryan Smith gets away well, so does Stuart Oliver. It'll be Flying Ryan who leads the way into the first corner. Oliver in second. David Jenkins keeping at the outside line. Division 2, the battle is on between John Powell and Paul Rivett, the pole sitter. They're all round the first corner okay. Neil Yates at the back in the 33. Now coming down the Craner curves and into the old hairpin. Ryan Smith leads from Oliver, Jenkins, Bradley Smith. One of the Reeds, that's Simon Reed in 5th position. Somebody running a bit wide onto the grass. That's John Bowler. He's into the gravel in the number 14. Gravel won't bog him down. It's fairly dry here at Donington at the moment. Rain showers may be forecast later on, so John Bowler has dropped back a little in the early stages. Bit of bodywork flapping on Bradley Smith there. Had some contact off the line with Michael Oliver. Up the inside, John Bowler takes Simon Faulkner. See where that's got him back up into after that moment at the old hairpin. Over the line go the leaders. Looking at the timing screen, Bowler's lost 4 places. He's down to P11 as a result of that. His next target is Stephen Powell. Made a decent start there. He gained a place off the line. Craig Reed's already gained 3 spots. So they swing their way towards the Craner curves once again down the hill. Ryan Smith starting to increase his lead, as we've seen so often before, looking for win number 9 this season. In Division 2, Adam Bint and John Powell are level on 5 wins apiece. Paul Rivett's had 4. So those 3 have divided up the wins between them in Division 2. Now are the Division 2 trucks heading down the hill. It's John Powell, number 6, with the advantage at the moment in the blue DAF. Somebody running wide onto the grass. That's one of the Reeds. That was Craig Reed. Mistake at Schwantz Curve. We'll see if he's gathered that up again. Fair bit of smoke coming from Adam Bint. Now, if you emit too much black smoke, you will be black flagged. So Adam Bint could be in problems here if he starts smoking like that. And, yes, the leaders run wide there, coming out of Coppice. Bit of dust kicked up. Paul Rivett has pulled into the pits. I missed that. So Paul Rivett has pulled in with a problem. One of our Division 2 favourites in trouble already. Adam Bint is still going. He's 3rd in class behind Craig Evans in the number 10. Still looking for his first class win. As up the inside, Craig Reed has a look. There's nearly contact there coming through Coppice. Here they come along the exhibition straight. Craig Reed's got the inside line there. And the man from Stoke-on-Trent will pull back ahead of the Yorkshireman Ricky Collett. His trucks haul some of the biggest and heaviest loads seen on the UK's roads. Now under fire from Stephen Powell, the man from Kent, lives just down the road from Brands Hatch. John Bowler's trying to make it 3 wide. He's lucky if he can get 3 wide in cars going down into Redgate, never mind in trucks. Stephen Powell is going to get ahead of Ricky Collett. They think better of going 3 wide. John Bowler drops back a bit, and through goes Stephen Powell. Ricky Collett's lost 2 places. This is the battle for the lead in Division 2, with John Powell under fire from Craig Evans. Craig Evans desperate for his first class win. He came within half a lap at Brands Hatch on Easter weekend this year, then ran wide into the gravel and let John Powell through. He's He's lost the side panel off his truck there, you can see there, number 10, Craig Evans. These two are fairly well ahead of the rest of the Division 2 field. It's Simon Cole, third in D2. Clock counting down to 0, so it'll be checkered flag this time. 5 seconds pending for Craig Reed as well, so both the Reed brothers could have penalties here. Through Coppice for the last time. Can David Jenkins steal second place into the final chicane? It's going to be a win for Ryan Smith. He's got Adam Bint in his way there. Adam Bint moves aside, lets the Daimler Freightliner through. Here they come down into the chicane then. Well, Flying Ryan, the 7 times British champion, comes in to take his 9th win of the 2023 season, leading all the way from pole position, as he always seems to do in the first race of the weekend. Stuart Oliver will hang on for second place, David Jenkins third, and Bradley Smith working hard all the way to hold off Simon Reed for 4th place. 6th position goes to Michael Oliver, and there's Tom O'Rourke holding off Craig Reed for 7th and 8th. There may be penalties pending there though. 9th it will be Stephen Powell, because Paul Rivett a couple of laps down, and 10th place for John Bowler, who has dropped Ricky Collett and Simon Faulkner. John Powell, meanwhile, here he comes. He's pulled away from Craig Evans. He's going to win Division 2. That will be win number 6 of the season for him. And with Adam Bint suffering mechanical issues, finishing well behind in 5th place in Division 2, a lap down. Then John Powell in prime position to take the lead of the championship in Division 2. He weaves across the line in celebration. Craig Evans second in Division 2. 4 drivers receiving 5-second penalties in that one. Simon Reed, Tom O'Rourke, Craig Reed and Simon Cole, but we know not why at the moment. We haven't been given a reason. We'll confirm that as soon as we have it. Ryan Smith takes the win by just under 4 seconds ahead of Stuart Oliver. David Jenkins completing the podium, and Bradley Smith holding off Simon Reed for 4th. Michael Oliver 6th ahead of Tom O'Rourke, then Craig Reed in 8th. Stephen Powell and John Bowler round out the top 10. Ricky Collett would battle with Simon Faulkner in the early stage there, 11th and 12th. And then in 13th place, John Powell wins Division 2, finishing just a couple of seconds ahead of Craig Evans. Next home behind them in his first race in Division 1, a lap down, was Neil Yates. Third in Division 2 was Simon Cole, his first Division 2 race of the season. And further back, Jim Bennett, Adam Bint 2 laps down after his engine problems, and Paul Rivett after his pit visit 3 laps down, the final finisher in 19th place.
Ryan, fantastic start to the weekend for you, sir. Now, quickly, we haven't had a chance to speak to you yet. We had a few issues during testing. I heard a rumour on the grapevine. What was that about? And obviously it's sorted now.
Well, we didn't really have any testing, just Dave's been fast. So, you know, I think me and Dave both broke the lap record in qualifying. European boys have come off half a second off us. We did a setup change then and we went the wrong way, but at least we know what to do for the next race. But look, gets it off the back. You know, I seen Dave and Stuart was fighting, so we didn't really see Dave's real pace there. So
you pulled away very well with those two fighting with each other behind you.
Yeah, well, look, at the end of the day, it's race 1 out of the way. Race 2, we get onto that, then hopefully it rains tomorrow, so it mixes it up a bit.
No, we don't want it to rain. Come on in, Dave. How are we, sir? Very good. And how was the experience of the race for you? First one out at Donington Park?
Yeah, it was good to get the first one out of the way, wasn't it? I mean, what a fantastic event we've got going on here this weekend. All these people here, all these trucks there, all these teams there. Great racing, great speed from us. Really good, strong first race.
It was great to see the battle between you and Stuart, but I tell you what, Stuart, you two have got to be careful, because that Bradley Smith, he's sticking with you all the way around at the moment, isn't he?
He's going well for a young boy.
For a young boy.
I know he is. But I think everybody was going well. You know, we weren't launching away. You know, we imagine not far behind this old boy. So he's obviously peaked a little bit or something.
When you're in a circumstance like that, Stuart naturally goes defensive because he wants to protect. So he allows you, the front runner, to get away. Dave, you don't see his true pace because he's in traffic. So, you know, next race we'll see, won't we?
Well, this pace to watch. Dave, any setup changes going into the next race of the day, second for Saturday?
Yeah, no, I'm hungry now.
He's hungry, wants it. Lunch first then, by the sounds of it. Right, gentlemen, thank you very much for talking to me. Well, we had some naughty boys getting warnings about track limits with an impromptu meeting with Clerk of the Course after that last race. Let's see if we can get away with some better behaviour for the second race, the British Trucks, this afternoon.
This grid set by the second fastest time by each driver in the qualifying session earlier today. And the grid with a very similar look to that of race 1. Ryan Smith on pole in the number 1 Daimler Freightliner. Alongside him, number 69 David Jenkins. Second row, number 7 Stuart Oliver and 46 Bradley Smith. Third row, 89 Simon Reed, number 12 Michael Oliver. Row 4 is John Bowler, number 14, on the Worcester's gravelly excursion in the International Truck Pre-Race earlier on. Starts alongside Tom O'Rourke in the 86. Craig Reed is next in the 68, alongside 95 Ricky Collett. And then Simon Falk, number 92. And number 3, Stephen Powell, after problems in qualifying, rounding out Division 1. Then a gap back to Division 2. Paul Rivett on pole position, number 22, alongside the number 6 of John Powell. Then number 5, Adam Bint, and 10, Craig Evans. 28 of Jim Bennett is next, 41 Simon Cole, and 33 Neil Yates. I think Simon Cole might be starting from the pit lane in the 41. Neil Yates in the Division 1 33 truck, starting from the back, of course, as he's new to that truck this weekend. And Paul Rivett has struck lucky because he was able to rejoin after reattaching his turbo boost pipe in race 1. Finished at the back of the Division 2 runners, which gives him pole position for race 3. That's tomorrow, because results of race 1 sets the grid for race 3. Red's beginning to rise, and he's near 1,000 horsepower engines. Power starts to come on, and here we go. Down towards Redgate for the first time. Ryan Smith gets away well, so does Stuart Oliver on his tail. Ricky Collett trying to get up the outside. Smith will just about have the advantage into the first corner. Michael Oliver caught in the middle slightly there, further back, and John Powell around the outside, leans on Paul Rivett's contact there. Powell's going to run out wide over the curb. A bit of contact again between the two of them. They bounce off each other. Surprised that at least one of them wasn't sent spinning. Something flew off. I don't know whether that was from Rivett or Powell. And side by side further ahead, John Bowler and Ricky Collett. So a bit of a frantic start to this one. Paul Rivett's smoke off the left front of his truck. I wonder if he's had a tyre let go there. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's going off. It's the rear tyre, not the front. Yes, I think he's got a puncture there, Paul Rivett. So is that going to be another pit visit for the 22s? There was contact there, definitely, and I wonder if John Powell's wounded as well. Yes, he's slowing down, so they're both wounded as a result of that contact. Yeah, Paul Rivett, you can see him sliding about there. There's the punctured tyre, damaged rear wheel. And he's going to be heading for the pits. They're right on the back of Ryan Smith here. Normally we see Ryan start to charge away at the front, but he's not able to get away this time. Has he got the setup wrong, or is there a slight problem for the number 1? Jenkins is so much quicker than Stuart Oliver. Look, coming off into the exhibition straight. Oliver's leaning on him. Oh, look at this, they're pushing each other onto the grass. Oh, there's a bit of needle creeping into this, and Jenkins has lost out to Bradley Smith and Simon Reed. Jenkins is going to be angry at that. That was like motorised rugby down the straight there, the way they pushed each other across onto the grass. And now, oh, what's going on here? Now Michael Oliver's hit David Jenkins. This is more like saloon stock car racing. It is still Rivett from Bint and Evans in Division 2. With that damage to the wheel, I really thought he would drop away. He's keeping it going. I thought he'd got a punctured tyre, but no, it's holding up okay. Adam Bint in second, a better run from him, no turbo problems this time. Ricky Collett and Michael Oliver pushing again. We see it from Ricky Collett's rear view camera. Oh, Michael Oliver certainly being a bit over aggressive through the chicane, I would say, in my opinion, in this race. He's already hit David Jenkins. Jenkins is still in P5 though, chasing Simon Reed. There's Craig Reed under fire from John Bowler in the 14. There's Neil Yates, our newcomer, his second meeting in the championship. He's got ahead of Jim Bennett in the Seth Atkinson. Certainly a fan's favourite is Gentleman Jim. Races purely for enjoyment. Well, we say motorsport should be fun. And running wide and running wider, Adam Bint and Craig Evans. Craig Evans has lost a lot of ground there to Adam Bint. This is for second in Division 2 behind Paul Rivett in his slightly battered MAN. Has the gap come down? No, it's increased again. Ryan Smith responds, 1:26.145 for Flying Ryan. Here comes Jenkins again. No, he's not close enough. Bradley Smith driving superbly up there in third place. Side by side further back, Craig Reed and Michael Oliver almost leaning on each other. Can they get side by side down the Craner curves? Craig Reed pulls ahead. John Bowler right behind them. Craig Reed holds the place into the old hairpin. You won't get through there. You won't get two trucks side by side through there. Is that Adam Bint? Is he having the same problem as before? That looks like it's, yes, black smoke, and he's slowing up again, I think. What was Adam Bint's lap time there? He's lost second to Craig Evans. Yeah, I think he's in problems with his turbo again. Because there's Evans up the road. Adam Bint's in trouble again. Here he comes into the chicane. Stuart Oliver has closed a little, but it's going to be too late. Ryan Smith will win it ahead of Stuart Oliver. Across the line they come now. What's going to happen for third place behind them? And indeed for sixth. Here's the third place fight. Bradley Smith has hung on all the way, and he takes third ahead of Simon Reed and David Jenkins, but only just. Who's going to be sixth? Here he comes. It's going to be Craig Reed. Good run by him. The rest of them come across the line. Seventh place goes to Ricky Collin, just ahead of Stephen Powell. And who's going to be eighth? It's yes, Powell is eighth. Tom O'Rourke ninth, I should say, ahead of Mike Oliver and John Bowler. Yes, Bowler struggling in the closing stages. A bit of smoke from his truck as well. Yes, his last lap time 11 seconds slower than his quickest. Meanwhile, in Division 2, a bit of a race of attrition for them. In P13, it is Paul Rivette who is going to take win number 5 for him this season. Despite that first lap collision with John Powell, there is Powell a few laps down. Paul Rivette takes the win. Craig Evans will come over in second. And third in Division 2 will be Adam Bint. Okay, provisional result then of British Truck Racing race number 2. Ryan Smith the winner by 1.9 seconds ahead of Stuart Oliver. Bradley Smith on the podium in third, having held off Simon Reed and David Jenkins all the way. Craig Reed topped the battle for sixth ahead of Ricky Collins and Stephen Powell, so Powell will have pole for race 4. Ninth for Tom O'Rourke ahead of Michael Oliver, John Bowler and Simon Faulkner. Paul Rivette wins Division 2 in 13th overall ahead of Craig Evans. Then Neil Yates was 15th, Adam Bint slowing in the closing laps, he was 16th, and John Powell a couple of laps down the final finisher. Jim Bennett's the only retirement.
Stuart Oliver, what a drive that was.
Yeah, that was good, that. I knew that. I didn't think Dave and Ryan were as friendly as what they are, but obviously they've kicked up a bit of a relationship where they're playing together, and that nearly ended in tears there with Dave trying to T-bone us off, but I survived and he came off worse, so we'll see what happens.
Indeed, yes, we saw that. It could go either way, the scrutineer's decision, so we'll have to wait and see. Don't hold your breath, you never know. Number 46, Bradley Smith, congratulations, sir. How do you feel?
Oh, it's good to get a podium. First race weekend there, and even better after last year's disaster. So.
Indeed, I think they owed it you by then.
Yeah, so we've had a fourth and a third today. Couldn't be happier. Good for the sponsors. Good turnout here. Raining now, but it's been a good day. Yeah,
I think we're all just going to run for cover if anything like earlier on happens again. We'll all be soaked down to the bone.
Yeah, definitely. Big downpour, but it's good. It dried for our race. Brilliant racing. It was the best race ever. Craig Reed was all. Simon Reed was hunting me down. It's usually Craig, but it's Simon this time.
Yeah.
And
you two were on top of each other for so much in that race.
I felt I was looking at my camera more. I was looking forward to see what he was doing, but I learned so much about racing. Good racing. Trucks are all in one piece, so happy.
So, first race here for the British Truck Racing Championship of Sunday morning, and did you have a good night last night? Because it was a late night.
Yes, I did.
Right, well, let's see how it unfolds for the first British Truck Racing Championship race of the Sunday here at Donington.
Race 3 out of 5 this weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. The grid decided by the results of race 1 yesterday, with the top 8 in each division reversed. So finishing in 8th place in race 1 was Craig Reed in number 68 with his Iveco. He starts on pole alongside number 86 Scotsman Tom O'Rourke with his MAN. Second row number 12 Michael Oliver, and 89 Simon Reed, brother of Craig, on row 2 with his Iveco. Row 3 number 46 Bradley Smith, the youngest man on the grid, and 69 David Jenkins. Row 4 Number 7, Stuart Oliver, father of Michael, 10 times British champion, 1-time European champion as well. And number 1, Ryan Smith, going for his 8th consecutive British title this year. Winner of the 2 races yesterday in Division 1. He starts 8th in his Daimler Freightliner. On row 5, number 3, Stephen Powell. Problems in qualifying hindered him slightly yesterday. The number 3 alongside the 14 of John Bowler. Fair play to John. He's contesting all 9 races this weekend. He's competing in the International Truck Prix as well. And on row 6 of the grid, number 95, Ricky Collett, the Yorkshireman, in his MAN alongside Simon Faulkner, number 92, with his Iveco. Then there's a gap. We've got the slightly less powerful Division 2 trucks, and they're headed up by Paul Rivette, number 22. He won the 2nd race yesterday. Starts alongside Adam Bint, number 5, with his Volvo Whites. Both of those trucks suffered turbo problems in race 1 yesterday, so finished at the back in Division 2. Therefore, they moved to the front of the grid for this one. Second row of the Division 2 grid, Jim Bennett, Gentleman Jim, in his Sen Atkinson, number 28, 74 years young. Starts alongside 41 Simon Cole with his new Iveco, switching from Division 1 to 2 this weekend. Next on the grid, number 10, Craig Evans with his MAN alongside yesterday's race 1 winner John Powell in his DAF. And at the back we've got a Division 1 truck. It's Neil Yates, number 33. It's his first time in Division 1, first time in that MAN, so he's requested to start from the back. It's time to go racing here at Donington Park. British Truck Racing Championship race number 3 of the weekend. Can Ryan Smith take a hat-trick? Wins yesterday for John Powell and Paul Rivette in Division 2. Here we go then, the pack about to be unleashed for 15 minutes of racing. Here we go. And the pack is away, down towards Redgate Corner for the first time. Craig Reed gets away well. Simon Reed going well at the outside as well. John Bowler, number 14, tries to squeeze his way down the outside. Looks like they're all going to get through Redgate. Ryan Smith's been crowded out. Stephen Powell gets around the outside. Paul Rivette leads Division 2 ahead of Adam Bint in the Volvo Whites. Volvo Black and Orange, it should be called. See the amount of spray being thrown up by these GT tyres as they head down the drop into the Craner curves. Looks like it's Craig Reed in the clear ahead of Tom O'Rourke. Michael Oliver is third. David Jenkins has got away well. He's up in the 4th place. Ryan Smith currently stuck behind Bradley Smith in the 46. Donington, not the easiest circuit to overtake on in a truck. Takes plenty of skill. Here comes Ryan Smith on the back of Bradley Smith. No relation, those two. Ryan going around the outside. They go through Schwantz curve, named after Kevin Schwantz, the motorcycle legend. There's Division 2 back. There's Simon Cole. Good to see him back out. Had some problems yesterday. Stuart Oliver has a look as Bradley Smith. Ryan Smith's already gone through. You saw him get a wheel onto the curve and just flick the tail sideways. The painted curbs here can spin you out in wet conditions like this if you get a rear wheel onto them. Everybody makes their way through Coppice okay for the first time. Craig Reed in the Reed Freight Iveco Stralis leads the way by a few truck lengths ahead of the 86 of Tom O'Rourke, the MV Commercial MAN second. Michael Oliver in the Team Oliver Racing GT Tyres sponsored MAN is third. Had 1 win earlier this year at Pembrey in Wales. On board with Michael Oliver, chased by David Jenkins. They come out of the chicane. That's the Hospitality Suites down the pit straight, the Wheatcroft Straight. It's named after Tom Wheatcroft, who revived racing here at Donington in the 70s. Of course, the famous pre-war venue, Donington Park. Ryan Smith has a look up the inside. He's on the grass there, attacking Simon Reed. There's no room there to get through. Ryan's getting a little over-eager there. He really is a win-at-all-costs driver. David Jenkins getting through there past Michael Oliver up into third at the top of the Craner curves. There's been a little bit of contact there. You can see a rear wheel arch has come loose on the MV Commercials. Freyhav Trailers MAN of Tom O'Rourke. Simon Reed 5th, Ryan Smith in 6th, then Bradley Smith, John Bowler. Stuart Oliver's quite a way down the order. Then it's Ricky Collett, Stephen Powell, and there's our Division 2 leader, Paul Rivette. The rain proving something of a leveller here because the Division 2 trucks, which are a little less powerful, able to keep up with the Division 1s. Ryan Smith up the inside, attacks Michael Oliver. He's going to go through at the old hairpin. There's not much room to go side by side there. Michael Oliver keeps his foot in. He's going to almost spin out. Yeah, he's onto the grass there. Michael Oliver, he really should have given Ryan Smith some room because he's just going to spin out. There's no grip on the grass at all. Round he goes. You could see that coming from the moment they went into the old hairpin. 68 Craig Reed. Look at him sliding there as he comes down the Craner curves. That's a bit of showboating there. O'Rourke going well in 2nd place. His only win in British truck racing, if memory serves me right, was here at Donington a couple of years ago. Ryan Smith on the inside is going to try again at the old hairpin on Simon Reed. Again, Reed keeps it there on the outside. He doesn't want to do what Michael Oliver did. No, he moves back onto the tarmac, giving Ryan Smith a bit more room. And Smith goes through. So that's Ryan Smith's preferred tactic. Get down the inside at the old hairpin. Quiet race for Stuart Oliver. He's back in 9th place. Craig Reed's got the fastest lap, 1:35.908. Here comes David Jenkins having a look on the inside of Coppice, trying to get through the P2. Ryan Smith now in P4. Here comes Ryan Smith. He's going for 3rd place, almost leans on David Jenkins. Is he going to get around the outside of O'Rourke as well? Can Ryan Smith get the line here into Redgate? No. David Jenkins, the lad from Stafford, holds the place. Simon Reed hanging on as well, and this is going to allow the rest of the pack to tow up, and David Jenkins leans on Ryan Smith there, coming through Hollywood towards the top of the craners, and Smith's got the inside line. He'll get through into P3. This is much more competitive and close than we saw yesterday, it has to be said. Plenty more overtaking. Look at Ricky Collett, he's loving this in the 95, one of the best races he's had so far this year. Chasing now Simon Reed for 5th place. Bradley Smith is 7th. Craig Reed still in front, looking for only his 2nd Division 1 victory of his career. He's a former Division 2 champion. Here comes Powell. Now is that spray or is that smoke from somebody? Up the inside, Stephen Powell takes Stuart Oliver into the chicane. That's a good move by Stephen Powell. And Stuart Oliver, if anything, is being caught by the Division 2 trucks. Has Stuart Oliver got a problem here, I wonder? Because he's dropping back. This isn't like Stuart Oliver at all. Round the outside comes Ryan Smith. He's going to go into 2nd place. He's got ahead of Jenkins. He's now ahead of Tom O'Rourke. Around the outside into Redgate. Now, outside into Redgate rarely works in the dry, never mind in the wet. So I'm wondering if Tom O'Rourke's got an issue there. He seemed to be slowing a little. They lap Jim Bennett and Ryan Smith. Now he's trying to bamboozle Craig Reed. He's got the inside run. Here we go, down towards Redgate. Is he going to make his move early? They lean on each other. Ryan Smith's being forced towards the grass. Craig Reed turns in. Ooh, it's getting a bit rough and tumble at the front of the field. Surely Ryan Smith's going to go through. There he goes. Yeah, Craig Reed tried to turn in, but Smith was already alongside. He gets the line, gets the overlap, and gets the lead. Craig Reed is not finished yet, but he's fired up. He's going to have a go into the old hairpin here. No, you don't, says Ryan Smith. That's my move. He's wise to him there through the bottom section of the course. Through past Starkey's Bridge. The old stone arches there on the right, a feature of the Donington circuit pre-war. Would you believe it used to go through one of those little stone arches, the circuit here at Donington in its early days? Through McLean's Corner. And then up to Coppice. Can Tom O'Rourke hang on for his first podium of the season? Bradley Smith closing up as well. Ryan Smith with the fastest lap of the race. They're coming down to the checkered flag this time. Out of Coppice, can Craig Reed pull off a last bend lunge through into the chicane? Here we go. Reed having a look to the inside. Smith will be wise to him. He's going to try and cover the inside line here into the first part of the chicane. I don't think Craig Reed's going to do it. See, the only chance he's got is to slipstream him on the run to the line. Difficult to do in a truck. Here they come then, out of the final corner. It's going to be a hat-trick for flying Ryan Smith. Well, the clock's counted down to 0. There's the checkered flag. Second goes to Craig Reed. Ryan Smith wins it from Reed. O'Rourke, his first podium of the season. Then Jenkins, Simon Reed, Collett, Bradley Smith, John Bowler, Stephen Powell and Stuart Oliver as quickly as that. And Paul Rivett wins Division 2 for the second time this weekend. Well, it's so close to Division 1. We didn't really focus on Division 2 for that race. Adam Bitt comes over in second. Jim Bennett is a lap down. So we wait for the rest of the Division 2 runners to come through. Michael Oliver making it back up to 13th overall. Here's Craig Evans. He's coming in for 4th in Division 2 behind John Powell in the DAF number 6. That keeps up his challenge of Adam Bint in the points. Well, you just cannot beat Ryan Smith this weekend. Wins by 0.68 of a second over Craig Reed. Brilliant drive by Craig, his best results of the season. Tom O'Rourke is by far his best result of the season, his first podium of the year in the MAN, ahead of David Jenkins, then Simon Reed. Ricky Collett with his best finish of the year in P6, ahead of Bradley Smith, John Bowler, Stephen Powell and Stuart Oliver, rounding out the top 10. 11th place Paul Rivett wins Division 2, ahead of Adam Bitt, defeating the Volvo by 2.5 seconds. Next home was Michael Oliver, then John Powell, Craig Evans, Neil Yates, with Simon Cole and Jim Bennett completing the finishes.
Craig was obviously holding you off for quite a while there. There's about a 4-second gap between him and the rest of the pack for most of that race, but then those last 2 laps really made it for you.
To be fair, once Craig realised I was engaged, he pulled away, and I'm trying to break out of it. But the minute you try and break in these conditions, it's hard. But
so it is as slippy as it looks out there at the moment.
It is slippy, and I thought it was a lot more slippier than I thought. But you know, it's the same for everyone, so everyone's the same.
Well, another win for you. A very good season so far. So we'll leave you to it. Thank you very much, Ryan Smith. Let's have a quick word with Mr. O'Rourke. Tom, you must be pretty elated with that setup. That situation.
Great. I enjoy the wet, you know. So it's a bit of a leveler. I think being Scottish helps a wee bit, you know.
Yeah, used to the road conditions.
We live in the wettest place in Europe, so no. No, it was really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Now,
so you're happy to take in some silverware home today?
Well, listen, it's nice to be up at the front, you know. So.
Well then, quite the interesting bit of driving with some penalties handed out for damage caused and sustained. Let's see where the drivers start on the grid now for race 4 of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship.
So it is number 3, Stephen Powell, as you can see, is on pole. In second on the grid, it should be number 5, Ricky Collett, but he's not there. So the second row, number 68, Craig Reed, and 69, David Jenkins. Jenkins with a clear run down the outside here, still looking for his first win of the season. Third row, 89, Simon Reed, number 46, Bradley Smith. And then we've got Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith on the 4th row. Ryan Smith looking for 4 out of 4. Tom O'Rourke, 86, first podium of the season earlier on in the wet, alongside number 12, Michael Oliver. And completing the Division 1 field, number 14, John Bowler, and 92, Simon Faulkner, who missed race 3 earlier today, but I think I did see he is there on the grid for this one. Then there's a gap, and we've got Division 2. Now, John Powell was hobbled by a bit of contact with Paul Rivette at the start of race 2 yesterday. He finished at the back in Division 2, but that gives him pole for this race, alongside Adam Bint. He's been plagued by a few turbo problems so far this weekend. So they're on the front row for Division 2. Next in the order, Craig Evans, the number 10 MAN, and 22, Paul Rivette, Division 2 winner earlier on this weekend. Trying to close that gap on John Powell and Adam Bint at the top of the points. Jim Bennett, number 28, is next with the Seth Atkinson. A rare retirement for him in race 2 yesterday. Pulled off onto the Melbourne Loop. And Simon Cole, number 41, also failed to finish that race. He starts alongside. Neil Yates, as before, has requested to start at the back of the grid this weekend, his first time in Division 1. Pace truck pulls into pit lane. Red lights are on the gantry. Red lights go out now, and here we go, down towards Redgate for the first time. Decent start by Bradley Smith, trying to get up the outside in the 46. It's Powell and Collett side by side into Redgate for the first time. Will they all make it round? Looks like it. Adam Bint's got away well in Division 2. We're on board with Simon Reed. Ricky Collett could lose second place here. Craig Reed is going for the inside. Craig Reed trying to go for the lead, I think. We've got a tangle. John Bowler goes spinning up. Bradley Smith's off and wallop into the tyre wall. Oh, big impact for the 46. I thought he was going to go over there for a second. That's going to be a red flag, definitely. Big accident for Bradley Smith. That's exactly the same place as where Stuart Oliver crashed out 12 months ago at Convoy in the Park 2022. A lot of damage to the tyre wall. Red flag out instantly. OK, let's have a look what's happened there then. Watch a little further back. Oh, it was contact with Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins initially, but further back there were 3 trucks together. Tom O'Rourke and John Bowler came together. That sent Bradley Smith out wide. No grip on the grass. Wallop into the tyre wall, nearly over and spun around. A lot of damage there, and that could well be the end of Bradley Smith's weekend. Look at the state of that. Front axle broken, fluid pouring everywhere, and a lot of damage to the tyre wall. Well done, and thank you to all our marshals for the fairly rapid clear up there. So here they come then, 12 minutes for the British Truck Racing Championship, race 4 of the weekend at Convoy in the Park 2023 at Donington Park. Revs beginning to rise from these 12, 13 litre engines. The pace truck is in pit lane, the red lights are on. Red lights go out now, and here we go down towards Redgate. The second attempt at race 4 gets underway. Good start by Ryan Smith. David Jenkins instantly moves out to block him. Stephen Powell leads. They come down to Redgate for the first time. Jenkins trying to go around the outside. Both of them, you'll never get 3 wide through Redgate. Jenkins wisely backs out of it on the outside. That could allow Craig Reed to come through. They've all got through okay in Division 1. Adam Bint's got the lead in Division 2. Stephen Powell leads down the Craner Curves the first time. Craig Reed up into second place in the Iveco. Ricky Collett trying to defend from David Jenkins, who's got the inside line for the old hairpin. He goes through. Ricky Collett has lost 2 places. It's Simon Reed, Stuart Oliver, Michael Oliver, Ryan Smith back in 8th place ahead of Tom O'Rourke. It's Stephen Powell who leads the way. Craig Reed has designs on taking the lead here. And he take it as they go into the chicane. Well, David Jenkins could get second place. He's going to squeeze up the inside. This is going to be close. They're side by side. You won't fit 2 by 2 through the chicane there. David Jenkins is going to get forced wide, most likely onto the grass as they come out there. There you go, over the curves, and the Reeds could make it 3 wide. Look at Simon Reed on the right of the picture, on the left as they head down to Redgate on track. Craig Reed's been squeezed out in the middle. Jenkins has got through into second place ahead of the 2 Ivecos. Craig Reed will hold third on the inside. His brother Simon making it a bit of sibling rivalry. Craig's got it sideways coming out of Redgate. He loses third place to Simon. Cracking battle there. Michael Oliver having a go at Ricky Collett. Not going as well as it did in the wet earlier on, the number 95. I mean, there's a cloud of smoke there. I think that was Adam Bintz. I saw smoke there. Meanwhile, we've got trucks bouncing off each other, and one of them is Ryan Smith. Ooh, he was nearly squeezed off completely onto the grass there as Ricky Collett and Michael Oliver made contact alongside him. O'Rourke and Bowler battling it out behind, and Ricky Collett's going to be shuffled back another place because Michael Oliver's going to come through. Over the curb goes Collett. And up the inside comes Ryan Smith. He's now going to have a go at Michael Oliver. Ricky Collett's going backwards. Over the line they go. Now Ryan Smith will go after the leaders. Or will he? Because Michael Oliver holds him off there into turn 1. Yep, Adam Bint. So we saw some smoke there. I thought, yes, he's slowing down. So Adam Bint's got a problem. I imagine that's more turbo problems for the Volvo. Oh, and off goes... is that Stuart Oliver that's gone off at the top of the Craner Curves there? I couldn't quite see. Yes, I think we've lost the number 7. Has he pulled off with a problem, or did he go off? He is pulling over. I thought he got going again, but no, the number 7, yes, cloud of smoke there, so problems for Stuart Oliver. Not a good race to be in a bonneted truck, unless your name is Ryan Smith, who's trying to force his way past Michael Oliver. He goes through, and now we'll try and get after the leaders. The Reed brothers in 3rd and 4th, and a change for the lead. David Jenkins has taken the lead at the chicane. I can't keep up with this. We've had more action in this race than any other, certainly. So David Jenkins has taken the lead. Side by side, Reed on the inside for the right-hander. Can Powell hold him off? No, I think Reed's going to get through on the brakes. Yes, he's done it. Simon Reed up into 2nd place. Now his brother will try and join him on the podium. Stephen Powell looking for his best finish of the weekend so far. There's Ryan Smith in the background in 5th position. Adam Bint, I believe, has rejoined out of the pits. Division 2 is being led by Paul Rivette, incidentally. We haven't really picked... You can see him in the background there. There's so much going on in Division 1. We've not really picked up on the Division 2 lead battle. It's Paul Rivette who leads. David Jenkins leads, but I've just been told he's got a 5-second time penalty, presumably for exceeding track limits. So David Jenkins has got a penalty. So he will lose that lead because Simon Reed's on his bumper. They lap Jim Bennett in the 28s. Into the closing stages now. Side by side for the lead. Well, we said Simon Reed didn't need to attack David Jenkins because of the penalty, but Simon doesn't know that, and he goes through at the chicane and takes the lead of this 4th British Truck Racing Association, British Truck Racing Championship race of the weekend. Craig Reed has now got a penalty, the 4th placed man. He'll get a 5-second penalty as well. They're getting pretty hot on these track limits offences. as into the chicane, Simon Reed in the Iveco. Into the home straight they come, ahead of David Jenkins, and there is the checkered flag. Simon Reed wins it, ahead of David Jenkins, Stephen Powell in third, then Craig Reed and Ryan Smith. That's the order over the line anyway, but it will change slightly with a couple of penalties. But Simon Reed takes his first win of the 2023 season. Oh, and Tom O'Rourke very sideways there at the chicane. He clipped the tyres, I think, there, just about holding off John Bowler. We'll confirm the results in just a moment. Paul Rivett will come in to win Division 2 once again in the 22 truck. He's having a good weekend in the MAN. Craig Evans will be second. Adam Bintz came out of the pits and will keep going for third place, with John Powell not out there for the restart. So Simon Reed, his first win of the season in Division 1, ahead of Stephen Powell. Jenkins gets dropped to third place by that penalty, presumes for track limits. Penalty for Craig Reed as well drops into fifth, behind Ryan Smith, who's defeated for the first time this weekend. Michael Oliver sixth, Ricky Collett topping a good battle with Tom O'Rourke, and John Bowler for seventh. Paul Rivett wins the Division 2 spoils by over 8 seconds ahead of Craig Evans. Simon Faulkner next home, ahead of Adam Bint, Neil Yates, Simon Cole and Jim Bennett. One retirement, the unfortunate Stuart Oliver with a mechanical failure.
Well, then the team behind me working tirelessly from the big smash that young Bradley received in that last race you just saw. But of course, upcoming, will he make it out on the circuit? Let's find out in the last race, the British Truck Racing Championship here at Donington.
So the grid based on the results of race 3 from earlier this morning. Top 8 reverse in Division 1. John Bowler is on pole number 14. Bradley Smith obviously won't be starting because of his accident earlier on. His truck beyond repair for today. Second row of the grid, 95 Ricky Collett and number 89 Simon Reed. Row 3, 69 David Jenkins and the 86 of Tom O'Rourke. And the fourth row is 68 Craig Reed and Ryan Smith, looking for win number 4 of the weekend and the number 1. Then the fifth row, Stephen Powell number 3 and Stuart Oliver number 7. Problems for him in race 4, but he is there. He's on the grid. And number 12 Michael Oliver and 92 Simon Faulkner round out Division 1. And the gap back to Division 2, which will be headed up by Jim Bennett, number 28 in the Seth Atkinson. Alongside him 41 Simon Cole. Then we've got number 10, which is Craig Evans, 6 of John Powell. Now keep an eye if John Powell is there as the grid passes my commentary box, because he didn't start at race 4. Number 5 Adam Bint is next, then 22 Paul Rivett, and Neil Yates of course starting from the back of the grid as he has in every race this weekend. Is that Bradley Smith coming out for... How on earth have they got that back out? I don't believe it. I am genuinely shocked at that. Well done to the 46 team. Revs begin to rise. Will it be 4 for Ryan Smith? Will it be 4 in Division 2 for Paul Rivett? We're about to find out. We are underway. Revs rise down towards Redgate. They go on board with Simon Reed. Nice to move to the inside. He could move. He could take both of them here. They're going to be 3 wide. Look at this into Redgate. Goodness me, that's close. John Bowler's got the lead. He holds off Simon Reed, who's up into second place. Bradley Smith is in third. Then it's David Jenkins. Ryan Smith is boxed in there on the outside. Stuart Oliver on his tail. Division 2 pack. And next looks like it's possibly Craig Evans who's got to the front in Division 2, the number 10. That's a good start. Side by side between Michael Oliver and Tom O'Rourke, and Ryan Smith has lost ground there. Look, he's dropped behind O'Rourke, and Stuart Oliver's in behind him. They were caught on the outside line coming through Redgate. Stephen Powell behind them. It's John Powell who's taken up the lead in the Division 2 field. There's a fair bit of smoke or steam there from David Jenkins. Looks like he's in trouble. Wonder if his turbo's packing up. We're on board with Paul Rivett in the 22. Didn't make the best of starts. He's having a go at Craig Evans for second place in Division 2. It's John Powell up ahead of us who's leading Division 2, the blue and red truck number 6. So Paul Rivett's trying to make his way through, looking to make it 4 wins out of 5 in Division 2 this weekend. Here comes your leader, John Bowler. Second place is Simon Reed. Great start by him. Here comes Ryan Smith at the inside. Somebody's gone off in the background over the gravel. That's Jenkins, I think. Yes, David Jenkins in all sorts of bother. 86 of Tom O'Rourke. Just about holding off the number 1. which is Ryan Smith. Stuart Oliver round the outside of Ricky Collett, who's dropping back. We think that David Jenkins may have blown a turbo. That may have been the smoke we saw. John Bowler leads it. He's holding off Simon Reed, looking for his second Division 1 win of his first season in the category, moved up from Division 2 this year. But Simon Reed to the inside. Here comes the Iveco. He's got the winning taste now, and he goes through at the Craner Curves. That's a good move by Simon Reed into the lead in the Reed Freight Iveco Struts. Paul Rivette side by side with Craig Evans. They come into McLean's. Rivette on the inside. Looks like he's got the move done. Yes, up into second in class. Let's see the gap ahead there to John Powell, the number 6. David Jenkins has pulled up by the look of things on the outside of Coppice. Ryan Smith, he's up on the back of Michael Oliver. Stuart Oliver in there. This could get interesting. We know that Smith and the Olivers have a big rivalry, and Stuart's up the inside. He's going through. That was a cheeky move there by Stuart Oliver. And Ryan Smith, instead of gaining a place, loses one. And what's Michael doing here? He tries to lean across there at Ryan Smith. Ryan's going to have the inside line for the chicane there. He'll get through on Michael and now have to attack Stuart. Ryan Smith avoids getting double teamed through there. He's still in 6th place behind Stuart Oliver. So the Olivers have swapped places. One from 5th to 7th and the other vice versa. Now here comes Stephen Powell. Could be into the top 7 in the number 3. Trying the outside on Michael Oliver, the number 12. A bit of smoke there at the top. Oh, the leader's gone wide. That's Simon Reed. He's gone off at McLean's. I thought I saw some smoke there. It must have been tyre smoke. Unless he's got a problem. So John Bowler leads. Simon Reed, I think, has rejoined and is still in 2nd place. Yes. So a mistake for Simon Reed, and John Bowler leads at Donington. Again, Bowler moves to defend into the chicane. So Craig Reed's up there in 3rd. Here's a replay of the move for the lead in Division 2. There's John Powell. He went wide coming out of the chicane. Just got a wheel onto the grass there, and Paul Rivette got his foot down the Wheatcroft straight and was able to take the lead. Meantime, into Redgate, and Simon Reed's got the inside line this time. Side by side for the lead. Simon Reed's going through. Retakes the lead of Division 1. It's all happening in this final race here at Donington. We said the last race of the day tends to be the liveliest. Stuart Oliver still under fire. Craig Reed moves across to block him. Now Oliver moves back to the inside. He's trying to sell in the dummy. No, Craig Reed stays across. 5 of them line astern. It's like that Grand Prix at Tarama in 1981, which Gilles Villeneuve held on to win in the Ferrari. We've got more penalties coming in. John Bowler and Craig Reed have been given 5-second penalties. Oh, that's going to shake the leading order up a bit. So 2nd and 3rd place at the moment, they're going to be penalised, so that's going to put these two onto the podium almost certainly, Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith. So that fight between Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith is now effectively for 2nd place, because Bowler and Craig Reed are going to be penalised. It's going to be a win for Simon Reed for the 2nd time this weekend and this season in the 89. Great drive by him, despite having gone off at McLean's midway through. He recovered to retake John Bowler. The rest of them fight their way through behind, and it's going to be Simon Reed coming in to take the checkered flag in our last race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. He takes the win. Ryan Smith trying to push his way past Stuart Oliver. He can't do so. So that'll be 2nd for Stuart Oliver. Ryan Smith is 3rd. The rest of them coming through. Bradley Smith will get 4th. John Bowler is relegated to 5th. Then Michael Oliver, Craig Reed, Tom O'Rourke, and Stephen Powell ends up 9th. Ricky Collett will complete the top 10 ahead of Simon Faulkner. They've been together for most of the race. And what about Division 2? Here comes Paul Rivette through the chicane. If it hadn't been for that loose turbo pipe, he could have won all 5 this weekend. He takes his 4th win of the weekend in Division 2, ahead of John Powell, Adam Bintz and Craig Evans. It's going to be a very interesting title battle in Division 2. Provisional results then with the penalties applied. Simon Reed takes his 2nd win of the weekend. Stuart Oliver beats Ryan Smith to the line for what turned out to be 2nd place, because John Bowler was penalised, as were Craig Reed and Stephen Powell. Bradley Smith ends up 4th, just reward for his team's efforts to get him back out there. Bowler 5th ahead of Michael Oliver, then Craig Reed, Stephen Powell in 9th place. Tom O'Rourke was 8th. Ricky Collett 10th ahead of Simon Faulkner. Paul Rivette wins again in Division 2 ahead of John Powell by 2.5 seconds. Adam Bint in third, then Craig Evans, Neil Yates and Jim Bennett the final finisher. We lost David Jenkins with what looked like a blown turbo on the opening lap.
Great result, well done Simon. Well, that's another first place for you this weekend. I didn't get a chance to congratulate you on your other one, obviously.
No, that one, yeah, especially obviously every podium's an absolute bonus for us, you know, with the team and everything and the hard work we put in. But yeah, that one before, obviously, I was sort of, you know, starting on the third row and then picking everybody, you know, well, not picking the lads off in front on me bit by bit, and then coming home with the win. You know, it was hard work.
Yeah, you feel like it's more of a reward when you put more of a battle into it.
That's it. Yeah, we keep everything together. But no, I kind of, you know, bloody brilliant, to be honest. I wasn't expecting, you know, you just go with the job and see where it takes you. You know what I mean? And you good out to luck. And the truck feeling right and being together, it's usually can set you up for the job, you know what I mean?
It's been a massive weekend of racing here at Donington Park. Convoy on the Park 23, and there's been some interesting racing, there's been some questionable driving, but everybody's got out of it relatively unscathed. It's been a brilliant time. I hope you've enjoyed it, because I certainly have. We'll see you all at Snetterton, where we will have loads more highlights for you coming up. Thanks for watching.